This Sunday, we have readings that are very complementary. As the lectionary organizers put these things together, of course, they were trying to maintain some kind of a continuum, a narrative throughout week by week, but then also looking for those opportunities where we see sort of a sympathetic vibration between those readings. So we've been reading from the Epistle to the Hebrews, which is a letter that we're not really sure who wrote or exactly who the intended audience was. But we've been reading this now for several weeks, and we're getting into the real heart of its message. And that is showing love to one another. Seeing the law that was so important to the Israelites, to the Hebrews, but seeing that as an expression of how we can show love to one another. It's kind of like those of us that went through etiquette classes, remembering that etiquette was not about the rules and about getting everything right. It was really a way to express our respect for each other and to have consideration for each other. And that's really the heart of what the Hebrews passage that we'll read this Sunday is. And it is answered in the gospel by Jesus telling this parable about if you're having a party, don't invite all of the rich people that you want to impress. You don't want to see and be seen. Go out and invite folks that have no way to ever repay you. Invite folks who are in need of some hospitality, and that you will be rewarded for that grace and that generosity of spirit. So everything that we will be praying and singing and reading this Sunday has to do with reaching out in love. So we're going to start right off with one of our most popular hymns, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, with that very familiar tune that Beethoven wrote for his Ninth Symphony. And of course, some of us grew up with that ironed out version where the fourth phrase begins on the beat. And since about the 1970s, hymnals have started putting in what Beethoven originally had, the rhythm, where the fourth verse gets kind of a jump start. But that always catches people by a little bit of surprise. So always watch out for that fourth phrase. But then after that, of course, we'll get right into that Hebrews reading that we talked about earlier. And in answering that, and as sort of giving away the thunder of Jesus' teaching in the gospel, we're going to sing this beautiful Eucharistic hymn, As We Gather at Your Table, as we listen to your word, already kind of stealing that image of a banquet feast. And this is a tune that's fairly new to our congregation. We actually started singing this a couple of years ago when we were worshiping in the Great Hall. But it's a beautiful tune. It has sort of a dreamy piano lounge kind of feel to it. And the words are so expressive and so beautiful. And then, of course, as I say, that will move right into that banquet feast in the gospel lesson. At the offertory, the choir will be singing Durafle's setting of the Ubi Caritas, which uses the plain song melody. This is a piece that is very familiar. We often associate it with Maundy Thursday, where we have the mandatum, the commandment to love one another. But again, very much in keeping with the readings that we have, and one of the most beautiful pieces in our repertoire. At communion, we'll be singing, My God, Thy Table Now Is Spread. Again, hearkening to that banquet feast imagery. And then we'll go out at the end of the service singing, Christ for the World We Sing, showing us that, or calling us out into action as we leave the service and to reach out to the world in love and joy. So we hope that you will join us here at the table this Sunday here at St. John's Cathedral, either here downtown or on our cable channel or our YouTube channel, but we hope that you will join with us in worship this weekend.